Hello and welcome to another episode of Daily Genshin. Let's see what kind of commissions we got today. Questions and answers. Especially by the announcement of 100 previous ones. Oh, this is EC1, Mondstadt. I think you get an achievement if you get all the questions right on this one, but I've done it so much. I think I've done it in the past, so I already gotten this before. I think for today's topic of the day, we're going to be discussing the Cataclysm, the big event that sparked much of the story that we're currently going through. Cataclysm, also known as the fall of Kandria, maybe the big event, the big kahuna, the big explosion. We might not see it in the beginning trailer. We still don't know if what we see there is the Cataclysm in action before the travelers get encased by the unknown god and get captured. But it is speculated that that indeed is the case. So, what led to the event? What was the event? And what were the outcomes of the event? Those are things we're gonna discuss in today's episode. So first, let's start at things that led to the event of the Cataclysm. Apparently, Kandria was a flourishing civilization, a human civilization that was flourishing or going upwards in advancements. And it also sat outside the purview of the gods as well. These events 500 years ago are after the Archon War. So the Archon War had been done for thousands of years, but apparently this civilization had seated itself outside of the purview of the Archons. And it existed before even they came to being. So obviously the Archons were okay with this city, state, or nation being doing its own thing over outside of Dvalin, since it was outside their dominion. That being the case, we do know that Kandria is underground and possibly closer to the abyss than Teyvat is. And for that reason, it could be that Celestia was not in good standing with the nation. Because obviously, they didn't like nations to be so close to perhaps the abyss in general. And that is why we have Economia being lowered to the lowered like underground during the events of the making or shaping of the world, but then being risen up for the conclusion of the Archon War when Orobashi put them up, because maybe they gave him an ultimatum. It's like, if you want to be part of Teyvat, then you gotta come on up. And Kandria being underground and doing its own thing, maybe closer to the abyss in general, may have precipitated the Cataclysm, especially if they were doing something that perhaps was very dangerous, like messing with perhaps forces that were not completely under their control, or forces they didn't quite understand. And perhaps forces that even Celestia fears, because they're tied into maybe some sort of creation or godly power that they have withheld for themselves. Now we know Kandria had a sort of dynasty or king and queen or regency in place, and they were all cursed or exiled, or not exiled. I think they were probably eliminated by Celestia because of the outcome. Because perhaps something they did But I'm more inclined to think it's something they let happen under their watch. That should not have happened at all. It could be that at some point they might have acquired a power. Could it be the possibility of the of that Genesis Pearl we talked about, or some other godly artifact that precipitated the downfall or the reaction of the Cataclysm itself? Now, that being the case, we don't know if the Cataclysm happened because of actions of Conria or because of an attack perpetrated by Celestia. So, from what we know, I believe that it was some sort of meddling on their part, some sort of big accident that happened with the Abyss, that they were doing some sort of experimentation and something went horribly wrong. And Celestia had to intervene lest the entire world of Tevat be lost to the Abyss. And that's why that's why they demand or always are wanting some sort of division between the underworld of Tevat, where the Conria and Economia are, as to the surface world where most humans live, and the nations are ruled by the Archons.
As you wish.
So, the Cataclysm, regardless of whether it was perpetrated by Celestia or something gone horribly wrong on the side of Conria, did happen. It forced monsters and legions upon the being unleashed into the world. It had to be sealed away or taken care of, and the orderly principles had to step in and, I guess, righted the world, but in so doing also handed out some punishment, in which the travelers, for some unknown reason, were caught in the middle of, and possibly wrongly accused or punished because of those actions. Because of those actions that took place. Now, we also speculate that the Cataclysm was could be a time frame that happened, so it's not necessarily something that happened in a day. It might have been something that took some years to rectify or to mull over, and for that reason, it could be that we have other stories of people like banding up together. The Archons had to step in and fight, and we have seen some of the Archons lost their lives trying to quell or bring back the peace and order into Tevat. While even some people like the Knights of Favonius had to as well send troops in and to try to reestablish control over what was being done, because apparently the Abyss had multiple entrances and monsters were basically surging out of the ground and attacking several places. In Liyue, we have that some of the ruins were once prosperous cities that had to be abandoned. In Mondstadt, it looks like some overwhelming of monsters also took place that had to be pushed back into the Abyss. So we know that is happening like an outcome, a direct outcome of the Cataclysm, and we know that in Inazuma something happened as well, where some of those characters that are like the raiding Shogun misses her sister because her sister lost her life during the Cataclysm. Now it is unclear as to how she lost her life, but obviously the current raiding Shogun believes that the actions of Celestia is what led to her demise, or she blames partly Celestia for it. So it makes me think that maybe Celestia ordered the Archons to intervene in some capacity and provide support to stop the encroaching or the advance of the Abyss and its monsters upon the world of Dvalin. Alright, let's do this commission real quick. I'm sure we can answer all the questions correctly. He always asks, I think, the same questions. I don't think it's anything different. See, he's asking about Miss Lisa. She's the librarian. Then he'll ask about Kaya. He's the cavalry captain. And then he'll ask about Miss Amber, which is the outrider. And those are all the questions. I think if you answer them correctly, he'll give you a bigger reward, perhaps. He'll give you more Mora. And that would be it for the expeditions. Go ahead and collect it.
Ad Astra. Thank you for complete.
Well, let's go and do bosses today. So maybe we can collect the billets and the prototype weaponry. So yeah, those were during the Cataclysm. Those battles were fought. People were lost. Obviously, the Heavenly Principles was able to reestablish some sort of order of things, and barriers were erected so that no more monsters could come out of the beast. But the damage had already been done. The Abyss Order possibly took shape based on monsters that were transformed with that abyssal energy somehow that took over the place. And the Fatui were created by the Saritsa, possibly because maybe the previous Cryo Archon lost her life in the Cataclysm. It could be that they were friends with the Saritsa. Somewhat of a similar story to the Raiden Shogun, but it's more than likely she wasn't content with whatever took place during the Cataclysm, and that's when she took over. So after the fact, Cataclysm's over, everybody's back in peace. Obviously, some things that were set in motion affect our current characters strongly, and that's basically we see all these ruins and civilizations trying to pick up the pieces of where they left off, and obviously our main character is at a loss as to why the Unknown God did what she did, and we're trying to discover that. Our sibling, on the other hand, apparently has discovered some sort of truth or been lied to in regards to that truth, and wants to set something in order or rectify some previous errors that were made. I don't have any else to use here. And that's basically all we know about the Cataclysm, I believe. Everything else is speculation. We do know that Sean Lee, for some reason, made a contract that he can't speak anything about the outcome, so he's kind of tight-lipped about it. And Venti, on the other hand, seems to be of the idea that we will discover what transgressed or what were the outcomes as we go along in our adventure. So he's rather not wanting to spoil it for everybody else. Kandria, when it becomes available, which will be in a very far update from now, if it ever gets there, will probably be some sort of underground city like Economia. Maybe a whole region, and we'll get to see it in action. It's probably gonna be super amazing when it comes out, and maybe by that time we'll have access to another elemental power, maybe even the Abyss. We didn't get any forging items, but that's just the way it goes. Let's go to Andrius. Andrius next. And some of the ruins we see here, like the ones at least in Dragonspine, predate the Cataclysm. So it's amazing that even after the Cataclysm took place, these ruins still stand somewhat, or we can still see some semblance of them. So obviously the Cataclysm may have not been just like volcano eruptions and earthquakes and chasms opening up. It could have been more of like monsters seeping into the world, into untold numbers that were hard to quell or hard to push back with. The way this guy comes out of the wall is, I mean, it's pretty good. He's one of my favorite boss fights in the game.
Outlines your fate. Let me weave you a verse. Let's light it up. Teamwork is dreamwork. Body and by royal decree.
He gave me a couple items, but no forging items. Next. Let's do Mr. Childe. Obviously, there's also little tidbits of information we've gotten. And for example, we know that the Ainsleaf has been cursed with immortality, perhaps as a way to atone for what happened during the Cataclysm in Conria, but then we know that the dynasty, maybe they were not even killed by Philistia. They were perhaps already dead
sun's out.
because of it.
Oh,
And they instantly may
this
have tried to stop it,
transformation is
and
most
because of
splendid.
that,
Like a felicitous
Celestia
twist
granted
of
him the
fate in
curse of
face
immortality, as
certain
opposed
doom.
to other people perhaps that got infected with some sort of abyssal power that turns them into monsters instead. And his atonement is to put an end to the life of these people that turn into monsters. That's a possibility. There's so many possibilities because there's so much that we don't know as of yet.
This opportunity is quite hard to come by. Well then, amuse me. Surrender is a valid option. I promise I'll be gentle.
Sort of exploded there.
Oz, reveal thyself.
How unbecoming. You missed a spot! Cowering already?
Let's light it up. Adventure time.
Passable effort.
Off we go.
Is he still alive?
I'm going in.
Try
Why
this.
do they never miss?
Not bad. You've got a
Time to
trick.
act. Let's light it up. Witness the power of the rock.
No use hiding back there.
Chinshu makes quick work out of him with his ult. This is probably one of the best transitions in game battles so far.
Your strength is praiseworthy. I too shall use all of mine. So, don't you dare disappoint me. Foul legacy, the devouring deep.
It's so cool when he drops like that. It's so easy to take care of on this mode. And all these attacks are easily dodgeable. Of course, I said that I might have jinxed myself.
You're cut above.
Nothing here as well. Oh well.
Shadow Raven, let night fall.
Alright, let's go to Signora. Should have enough. This team is good. Having Barbara would be better. Just her heals are far
We
superior.
can do this.
And she's better at the second phase with the water. If we need her. Putting out fires.
You're trembling. Is it the cold or just cowardice?
Ha! me weave you a verse.
I summon thee. Reveal thyself.
No, my sword.
Into the frozen void.
I don't think I've ever seen her do that before. She's already transitioning. Where are they, little butterflies? The butterflies always appear like on the other side of the map for some reason. The Shogun is probably wondering, it's like, this woman plans to destroy my castle in the process? Probably what she got, what she deserved.
Dance, my pretties.
No, my sword. Witness the power of the watch.
I summon thee.
Body and mind.
Not every wound will heal.
Time to act. Rain outlines your fate.
Let the show be. Oz, reveal thy.
Good.
Midnight Phantasmagoria.
No, my sword. Rain cutter.
Not every wound will heal. Insubordination. By royal decree. Embrace your searing reckoning.
It's hard to see in this battle when she's gonna do the last attack. You don't have to destroy these things. You can just stand near them too. But you need to destroy them if you wish to heal up the board.
I'll protect us. Not every wound will heal.
Midnight Phantasmagoria.
No, my sword.
I never asked for redemption. Never.
No forging items this time around. Too bad. Let's see, I think I have one of those resins from the teapot that will expire if I don't use it in 2 days, so I'm gonna go ahead and use it for 60 resin and go to Mr. Azhdaha. definitely want to change my team here. I usually go with the
Leave it to me.
with the shielders. This group right here. Just easier for the battle.
You dare overstep your mortal authority?
A minor setback.
Yeah. On, reveal thyself.
Fisher!
Time to clean up.
Ring cutter.
Can't handle your dream. By royal decree.
Rain outlines your fate.
There is no atonement for 1,000-year pain!
Think you can bully me?
Today, you witness your reckoning!
Reveal thyself.
No rest for the wicked.
Let me read your verse.
Think you can bully me? Midnight Phantasmagoria.
The enraged Earth will not absolve you!
I must leave no stone unturned.
Witness the power of Gova.
You stand upon your tomb, though you know it not. Come, experience an eon of suffering.
Let me read your verse.
Leave it all to me.
Rain out. Lines your fate. Rain cutter.
Back to the Earth!
By royal decree. As a dutiful maid will, I must leave no stone unturned.
I know she's not my biggest damage dealer, but mostly use her to shield up and heal up my team when they need it.
Body and mind.
You got hit hard.
Outlines your fate.
Look at you, Boomtown.
There is no atonement for 1,000-year pain!
Gova.
Steady as stone.
That's why I have shielders here. That's what they're good for. Shielding all that damage. You're done for, my friend. Oh no spots left on the artifact. So that means I gotta go over here and get rid of some stuff. Usually I just level something up. Let's see. I'm not sure what to do here. Usually when I put a lock on something, it's because it's relatively good item. So this has a lock because it has 1 defense instead of most of these which have 2 defense or 2 HP. Or HP and defense together. Try to balance it out a little bit. Like this one only has HP and it's a Hydro bonus. So this would be a good piece for, or I might change it, but I believe he already has that. See, he already has, see, the Hydro with 2 attack. So this has 2 attack, defense, HP. That one has HP with crit. Might be better. Might be. Then it has this one, which I mainly use him for healing. I think that's why. But it's because I don't have anything else at the moment for him. Albedo and Mona I don't use at all. Just don't have the necessary stuff for them. This one has crit damage. Mona currently has it, but again, I don't use her because I just don't have the time frame, the wallet to go to level them up. I think I was looking for a hat for D-Loop, but nothing was presenting itself either. That's good. Let's see here. Something over here. Nope. Nothing calls to my attention. This might be good. Let's just waste a couple of enhancing materials here. And maybe that has a lot of defense. Maybe here as well. That should be enough. There we go. Yep, nothing of import. That should leave me only with 12 resting, which is good enough. Let's go do our visit to the teapot. And yeah, I think we've talked enough about Cataclysm. That's really all we know about the Cataclysm. Every time I say the name, it reminds me of World of Warcraft. One of the expansions was called Cataclysm.
This realm is true.
With Deathwing. There's 2 books and stuff for this time around. Okay, good enough. And since today is Friday, we should go and see our friend the salesman. Because he probably has some of those new musical items.
The one before you is known as Jade Seeker. Ah.
Got to low. Okay. Battle pass. wind trace, we're already at max. That's done. That's completed. Economia, we're going through it slowly. And that should be all there is to do for today. I'm gonna check the pet vendor real quick, but I believe I've already purchased everything. You have to come back every refresh period to get more if you're planning on catching some of the little ones. See? Still available. There we go. I believe these don't expire, but let me double check that. Yeah, they don't expire. At least I don't see anything that says they do. So they'll stay put. And if you're planning on getting Shinhe, know that you only have 4 days left. I did not wish. I'm saving my wishes for Mr. Zhang. And hopefully, I hope that Mr. Zhongli has Fischl in his banner at the very least, because I really want to see 6 Miss Fischl. Hope she is on her banner, and if Bennett is on her banner, that would help tremendously as well, because I do want some constellations for Mr. Bennett as well. Like, I'm halfway through her, and I still need some. They say that this one for him is not good, but and since I don't attack with him, this is kind of worthless for me. But Fantastic Bars, of course, having it with more levels does better. Yeah, his consoles are not phenomenal. Same with Benti. Like, this is not phenomenal for Benti. But obviously, Storm of Defiance is amazing. Which unfortunately is at the C6 location, which is almost impossible for a player like myself to have. So I don't see that happening anytime soon for me. And believe it or not, I'm still missing a Barbara. So if I get an extra Barbara, it wouldn't be the end for me. And I have a C6 Sucrose, and that's why I leveled her up a little bit. Because I'm debating whether to level up some of these characters as well. Now I have them at level 90. Maybe try the Abyss again and see if I can get a little bit further. But I'm not wasting any sleep, or I'm not frustrating myself over it. And neither should you. So if you can't pass it, like, don't worry about it. It's just an extra Primo Gems. I know 300 is a lot, but hey, it's not worth my frustration over the Abyss. So that is it. That's all I have for today. I might do another hangout, but I'll do that in a separate video. That way it doesn't become too long. Alright, until next time. See ya. Bye-bye.